Well, I'm very pleased with the decision released today. Justice Broad found that I was not in a conflict of interest. The municipal conflict of interest application has been dismissed in its entirety. And we're on with the many challenges that Mississauga faces. Judge Broad found that reasonable electors would conclude that I demonstrated greater concern for the public's interest than for my son's interest. The judge also concluded that my son's interest would not have influenced my vote. The case has cost me personally $500,000 in legal costs. There is $50,000 insurance at the region appeal, and that's the only coverage that I have. Anybody can bring an application at any time within 6 years exposing politicians to all exorbitant costs. This case demonstrates the need for legislative reform as soon as possible. I will urge the province, and especially the new Premier, Kathleen Wynne, who I have great respect for, to urge her to get on with the review of the Conflict of Interest Act. Last election that I would not be seeking re-election after this, and therefore, that's it.
Mayor McCallion, have you ever had any direct corporation dealings with your son?
Pardon?
Have you ever had any direct corporation dealings with your son?
Direct contract?
Corporation.
No.
Wrong answer.
No.
Will you be seeking to recoup any of your legal costs, the $500,000 in legal fees?
Well,
Madam Mayor, could you clarify about political purposes? I mean, after all, the regular people don't have the deep pockets to deal with these things. The government won't deal with it. So basically, it's the politicians policing the politicians. So when you say it's bad for something to come forward for political reasons, could you really explain that, since nobody else but politicians know what's going on?
well, I think the Conflict of Interest Act should be revised, for one thing, with many points of view, because the interpretation of it is all over the map. Let's put it this way, the Conflict of Interest Act has been used, and I know of many examples across the province. It strictly is used mainly for political reasons. That seems to be the research that's been done. I don't
Clarify what political reasons are.
Political reasons?
Yes.
I don't know. I guess political reasons is challenging somebody for a position, or especially defeated politicians. I think that's usually defeated politicians.
You know, and Mayor, I don't know if you've addressed this publicly before. I know what you just said now about Premier Wynne, but you know what? Put the findings of the inquiry at the top of, you know, maybe not ahead of the big move, but pretty high up on your agenda.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of confidence in Premier Wynne. I think that since she's been elected Premier, I can assure you that she's changed. Or she's gotten involved in many issues and has had them settled. And I think that I will be approaching her definitely, and I feel that she will be concerned and take the necessary action. I really do. I think the time has come. I don't think we can allow this to go on, that an act can be used politically to attain an objective separate. I think it's got to be clearly defined as to the involvement of the elected person in regard to the business of the city. Pretty serious, and I now have politicians talking to me about it in other areas, saying, you know, we didn't realize that our neck is up unless there's coverage. So to protect, for political reasons, people taking action.
then take some questions.
Those two standing there remind me
Freya
of
and I
June
are here
1st,
also to answer some
2009, when they were with
questions
Peter.
for you if you have any. So I'm going to turn it over to the mayor.
I supported her as leader of the Liberal Party, and I still support her as leader of the province. We have had a good relationship with this government, in a confidential situation, to discuss it with them and to let them know what we agree with and what we disagree with. That opportunity is given to us in the province. I don't believe any other province in the country has it. We're looking forward to an election in June the 12th. The last thing the province needs is a minority government. Minority government leaves us as municipalities hanging out there, not knowing what legislation can get through the House and what can. And some legislation that died on the order table, I can assure you, seriously impacts us. So I think the people of Ontario should look at the issues. Please address the issues. You know, this gas plant has taken over far too much. Terrible mistake. Water under the bridge. Let's get on and put in an announcement of 100,000. Yes, we can, I'm sure all levels of government can look at the staffing and decide reductions. But you better look at the service as well, because the people of Ontario have become accustomed to a quality of life that I think is sacred to them. In fact, an article in the paper said this morning that taxes is not really the issue, it's the quality of life that people are concerned about happening. So to the people of Ontario, please look at the issues and mark your ballot accordingly.
If I was sitting there among you, ladies and gentlemen, that serve as our council today, I would be wondering what my position would be 1 year from now when an election is held, and how many of you might have a chance for re-election. If you proceed with the action you're contemplating now.
No, that's a threat. Isn't that interesting?
Councillor Corbison.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Mayor, and I will be brief. Let me first say that this isn't an easy time for any of us around this table, just like it's not an easy time for you. I don't think we take comfort in any of the decisions we've had to make of late, but notwithstanding, we are elected to make some tough decisions, and I think that's the type of comment you're going to hear around this table today. I am not at all overwhelmed by the number of people that showed up, Councillor Prentice. In fact, I'm surprised there wasn't more. And I'll tell you why I'm surprised. My biggest difficulty is, and I hope you can understand and appreciate, that when we have in-camera sessions, we are privy to certain comments and information that the general public is not. For me, the in-camera session on the judicial inquiry opened up more questions than it answered. I do have a problem that official government documents got changed with no satisfactory explanation. I do have difficulty that any member of council, doesn't matter whether it's Madam Mayor or me or anyone else, can have off-site meetings with a landowner who has an interest in the city of Mississauga that is going to financially benefit a member of any one of our families. That may not be against the Conflict of Interest Act, but in my opinion, I would hope, and it's my understanding, that a judicial inquiry can, and most probably would, depending on their findings, make some very strong recommendations to have either the Conflict of Interest Act or the Municipal Act changed. That, simply put, ladies and gentlemen, for me, I'm not going to speak, I'll let the others speak for themselves. This isn't about Mayor Hazel McCallion. This is about governance. How do we improve it, not only for this municipality, but across the province? And I don't know what price tag you put on that. Is it 10,000? Is it 1 million? Is it 10 million? I don't know. But I would like to see this city in particular, and certainly Madam Mayor, come out with credibility, integrity, and that we all maintain our